Hello everyone and welcome back to Astrophysicist Plays Outer Wilds. I'm excited to get back into the game here and I hope you all are too. My channel's been actually doing very well. My first video on Portal really hit it off, and it seems there's a lot of interest in Portal games, so I'm going to be looking at other Portal related Let's Plays I can do. I've received a few recommendations for some other fan games and mods that I'll definitely be looking into, as well as unrelated games that should have interesting physics. So I've got a long list of what to do, but I'm always happy to have more suggestions. So please do let me know if there's anything that you think would be interesting for me to look at. Okay. So, getting back into Outer Wilds here, we still had more to do on Giant Steep, so let's head back over there. Now, as you'll recall, last time we met Gabbro, had a chat with him, complained about a tornado. The tornado didn't really hear our complaints, unfortunately, but if we see it again, we can have another word about it, see if we can get it rotating in the right direction. Okay, yeah, I think we can go forward and engage our... yeah. Still haven't figured out how to get it to show all the controls, but I've got a good enough handle on it. In any case, Giant Steep, it actually occurs to me that they probably point people to Giant Steep deliberately as a first place to explore because it's a bit easier than other planets. Giant Steep, I believe, yeah, it's the only planet with a liquid surface, which means you're less likely to crash into it when you first travel to it. You might end up underwater, but you can just fly out. So, right now, I am going to hunt down Gabbro again. Ooh, lots of storms around here. Okay, looks like Gabbro's roughly over this way. So, the reason I'm going back to Gabbro, this is something that isn't directly pointed out to you in-game, but there's a special ability you can learn from Gabbro if you go see them again after you talk with them once, then restart the loop. Although this game is in a lot of ways kind of like a Metroidvania where you explore areas and unlock others. Basically all of the unlocks in the game, with really the only exception being the launch codes at the beginning, are knowledge unlocks, and there aren't any abilities to unlock except for this one, and this one is just a convenience thing. So if you haven't played this, the way you do it is you go talk to Gabbro, go through all the dialogue options, then continue on in the game, die somehow and reset the loop, come back, talk to Gabbro again, and then this second option will appear. So, Gabbro, how do you stay so calm in the face of repeated impending death? Deep breaths. No, seriously, I meditate. Want me to teach you? It'll be the next loop before you know it. Sure, why not? Okay, close your eyes. And some nice time meditating with Gabbro here. And it automatically resets to the next loop. So the ability we get is basically go immediately to the next loop. You don't have to manually find a way to die or wait out the timer. And you trigger it just on the menu. A new option has appeared here. So that's useful if you need to do something closer to the start of the loop, you're running out of time, don't want to wait it out, or you want to save your game, it only actually saves when you die. Okay. So, lift off again. And back to Giant's Deep. So, yeah, one thing about this time is there's a lot, one thing about this game is there's a lot of just empty time to think about things, and I think to some extent this was a deliberate design of the game to give you time. Okay, I'm just going to abort autopilot because see something interesting here that's worth checking out. And yeah, this is another thing the game does a lot, the ooh shiny. Gives you something to see here. Ooh. Yeah. Orbital... yeah, orbital mechanics are always tricky. Because you can't even just rely on the free-floating nature of empty space. You also have to deal with the gravity of the planet beneath you. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, the game deliberately gives you a lot of free time when you're just wandering around, probably to encourage you to think about things and decide what to do next. So I don't think that's a way in. Let's look around this a bit more. Yeah, that's they're definitely calling our eyes to this. Yeah, looks like there's a little bit of a gravitational field, and we can't see like one of those gravity crystals that we saw them use before, but the nice squares. Oops. Yeah, this is why you never go out without your spacesuit. Yeah, so that's an important life tip. Never go out into the empty void of space without a spacesuit. Yeah, the game just lets you do that if you want. Okay, so this time let's put on our spacesuit before going anywhere. I don't think there's any real disadvantage to wearing it. So how are you all doing? I hope you've been having a good week so far. Me, well, let's see, I died twice already in the last 10 minutes or so. Other than that, it's been pretty good. The first death was pretty pleasant. Second, not so much. Yeah, so Giant's Deep, if you haven't noticed, is the planet that we see above us whenever we start a loop. And this structure seems to be what was causing that interesting explosion. And now, I won't spoil anything about it, but I will recommend that each time we start a loop, have a close look at it and think about what it's doing. And eventually I'll point out what's interesting about it, that, let's just say it's doing something that nothing else in the game does when it acts at the start of the loop. Okay, if we can unbuckle there. And the ship automatically rights itself, I believe. Yes, that's convenient. So let's just... Okay, there's some ground. And okay, now we can drop in safely. With this spacesuit on, we have a little bit of control. Okay, so now we can control that. I'm not pressing any buttons there. It's just when it's close to the center of my view, it kind of locks on and I can move it by adjusting the camera. Alright, let's explore this room a bit. So I think here, yeah, that's just looking out. He saw the way in before. And then we came in from there, and there are 3 paths. And, oh, I think this is some Nomai writing here. So, translate launch module. Let's give that a look. And, okay, it appears... Ooh. Yeah, we can't get through ourselves, but it's helpfully saying we can launch our scout through, but it quickly gets stuck. So the launch module seems to have broken. Yeah, something in there. We can look through. Yeah, some broken equipment. Can't say much more beyond that. Okay. Something happened, was added to our ship's log, so when we get back to the ship, we can check on that and see if it tells us specifically what happened. Okay, more control module. Alright, let's have a look here. And another little lock. Okay. But we get oxygen really quickly from these trees, even... Ooh. Yeah. Floor's upside down up there. So I guess this is all artificial gravity on either side. And if we step here, yeah, it flips us over to the other side. So we can step on those to switch between the sides. Okay. So, launch module projection stone. Oop. Okay. And then we can put the projection stone in here. So, these projection stones actually have 2 uses, which has confused some people who are playing this, expecting that you pick these up and they work in exactly one thing. But each of these projection stones can be used both in this kind of sand pit looking thing. It's not actually sand, but it kind of reminds me of a sand pit, so that's how I think of it. So if you put one in here, it generates a hologram around you, showing you a different part of the world. So in this case, this is the launch module projection stone. This kind of looks like what we saw with the Scout. So I'm guessing it's projecting what the inside of the launch module looks like for us. So yeah, this looks like another way to confirm that it's all broken there. Okay, so we can remove that. And the second use for each of these is there's always one of these stands near a wall, and if you put it in like that, I love the design of their technology, the way it's playing with it, that it kind of rotates around. Now, if I duck down and put it in, you can kind of better see that the stone isn't deforming, it's just made of multiple horizontal layers that rotate in turn. So there's no real violation of physics here. It's just a cool trick that we could do in the real world if we wanted to set it up. Okay, let's see what the text says. Oh, okay. Yeah, so ducking leads to jumping. Let's jump back to the other side now. Yeah, luckily we automatically right ourselves and don't hit our head. Okay. So let's see. We're translating the Novi Avens. Mallow, my better 50%. Cassava is sending the last of the cannon component. Soon, relatively speaking, we'll know the eye's precise location. I is capitalized there, so that's important. Oh, and here the text branches off in two different paths. Yeah, so as I said before, they seem to be recording what seems like rather casual conversations on these, so I wonder if this is like one of their primary ways to communicate, by writing down like this. Okay, so Mallow responds, "The thought of concluding our elder's curious and challenging search increases my heart's temperature, my love." And okay, back to Avens, continuing on. Cassava tells me he and the construction yard crew have determined a power setting we are not, under any circumstances, to go above. And so if you did go above that, would that perhaps blow up the launch module? Just spitballing here. Mallow, I see. And am I right to think that consequently we'll be ignoring that setting? Yes, we are. Avens, I can posit with nearly 100% certainty our friends have accounted for our nature, so I suggest we do. Yeah, so it blew up. Just it feels like that's what we were seeing at the start of the loop. So they exceeded it, but only right before we started, and we didn't see anyone around here, so that's a bit odd. Okay, giving the orbital. Oh, this is Avens again. Giving the orbital probe cannon all the power it can structurally withstand creates the greatest chance of finding the eye of the universe. Okay, eye is capitalized again. Mallow, yes, the probe must travel as fast as it can, as far as it can. I'll make some adjustments. Okay, so they deliberately set it to launch at unsafe levels to maximize their chance of finding the eye of the universe, whatever that is. Okay, so removing that stone, and for some reason, some quirk of the controls, I jump again when pulling that out. So let's see. Oh, okay, so we have to drop this, then we can pick up the giant steep projection stone. As before, let's see what the hologram is. Probably going to show us giant steep, since the other shows the launch module. Okay, yeah, this kind of feels like giant steep. We can see the clouds out there. So this is some other Nomai station on giant steep we'll probably want to look at. Okay, and let's see what they have to say about it. Yeah, gotta hold R1. Okay. Cassava, I have bad news, Avens. Veros says there was a problem with the proposed power source, so the orbital probe cannon won't be asked to fire. Avens responds, I hope you're pulling my locomotive limb here, Cassava. Cassava said, I wish I were, my friend, but no. They aren't certain they can fix the problem, so the orbital probe cannon is on an indefinite hiatus. But it did fire, right? We saw that. Cassava, tell Privet and Mallow they should return from the cannon. My spouse and I will remain at the construction yard for now. Okay, so everyone left. Maybe that's why we didn't see anyone. Avens, an update. Mallow and I will join you and Daz. Privet left to visit her brother. She fears Idea may feel responsible. Okay, so they didn't think they could fire it and all left. But we did see it fire, so maybe something triggered it automatically, but the power source didn't work. Yeah, okay, well let's look around here. See what else we can figure out. Okay, so this ball also responds to our camera. So I wonder how this technology is supposed to work. It senses something looking at it, so presumably our character, when we're looking directly at the ball knows we're looking at it and stays with us as best it can. So it's kind of like the quantum rocks that respond to whether we specifically are looking at them. So maybe there's some quantum technology going on in there that allows it to respond to our consciousness. Okay, so if we put it down there, what happens? Ooh. This feels like display like at a museum or something that... Okay. Oh, we can translate this. 10 minutes, 0 seconds ago. Request to launch probe received from Ash Twin Project. Okay, is that from now? Like if I wait a second and look back, 10 minutes, 3 seconds ago. Okay. So yes, this is what happened right at the beginning of the loop. There was a request to launch probe from the Ash Twin Project. So it was triggered remotely. So that explains kind of why it fired. We don't know why the request was sent. And we also don't know how they got around the power source issue. So what does this say? Cannon aligned with randomly selected probe trajectory. Gravity field activated. So they're searching for the eye of the universe, and they're searching randomly for it. So this is one way you could conduct a search. So let me just pause here so we don't go down time in the loop, and I'll just talk a bit about search algorithm. Let me pull up my whiteboard utility so I can make some points on the scene. Just give me one moment here. Okay, testing. Yeah, okay. So let's say what we've got on the screen is our search region. We're trying to find something that's in at one point on the screen, and whenever we pick a test point, we can see everything in a circle around it. Pretend I drew a better circle. So just bear with me, I'm drawing with a mouse here. So what type of search strategy would you use to cover the space and find it as quickly as possible? So what they're doing in game is they're essentially shooting it out randomly. Like they hit here, then maybe over here, then here, here, here. You know, I can't really draw randomly, but yeah. So they would be hitting those points, which, you know, let's say the point we're trying to find is here. So eventually, one of these will get back. Let me get back to red. There we go. We'll get back, and yeah, we'll keep searching around randomly, and eventually one of them will chance to be close enough. So randomly will work, but it's a tricky search strategy, as you could get lucky, like if we have it right there. Yeah, so we could randomly end up close to it and get it on the first try. It could be on the second, or just by dumb bad luck, we could end up spending millions and millions of times getting nowhere close to it, searching in random spots and never quite getting to it. Now, this doesn't mean it isn't valid, and there are some cases where it has its uses. When we talk about this, the term we use for a search strategy like this is a Monte Carlo search, referring to the casino in Monte Carlo, it as an allusion to randomness. I'm not sure who first started referring to a search like this that way, but a search algorithm or an optimization algorithm or an integration method. There are a lot of ways that you can apply Monte Carlo algorithm of just doing things randomly, and it will eventually get to the desired answer. Now, let's talk about, is that the best approach? Well, if you have a finite amount of space like we do here, what I would recommend would be actually just a uniform search strategy. That is, just space things out uniformly so that the circle that goes around each of these will eventually overlap to cover every spot in space. Yeah, I'm not doing a good job at putting these uniformly. But yeah, something like that, and then eventually we'll hit what we're going for. And you can make optimizations to this uniform strategy. Like here, I'm doing it in a grid pattern, but if we're actually trying to align circles together, it makes a bit more sense to actually go in an offset pattern like this, which ends up with kind of a hexagonal pattern to it. This way, you can imagine if you do the circles around each, you can just slightly more efficiently cover the space. Yeah, but I'm just trying to think. Yeah, there can actually even be better ways. I suspect that on average, the most efficient search strategy might be spacing the points out a bit more so that on the first pass, you actually leave some gaps. This way, the first pass, you're covering as much space as possible. Here, imagine I've drawn this so that the circles actually touch, and you're filling in space as optimally as possible, at least grid-wise. So if the radius of these circles is 1, the distance between two of them will be 2, and then you would do 1 here. This way, in the first pass, you're getting as much area as quickly as possible. There's no space that's being searched over again. But eventually you might miss it. It could be that the target is right in one of those gaps. So then what you would have to do is when you get to the end, you go back and you start and look specifically at those gaps. Another circle will cover the entirety of each gap, so you can go around them all. And, you know, I'm not sure offhand if that would be more or less efficient. But yeah, in any case, what they've chosen to do here is Monte Carlo search, which, you know, on average might actually be... no, I suspect Monte Carlo is going to be pretty inefficient overall. The problem with the Monte Carlo search, imagine I'm drawing lots of random search points here, is that you're very likely to get lots of overlap between points, which means after the first one, there's a good chance each time that you're wasting a lot of space, like right in here. We're wasting it, covering that space again, as well as up here. And as the space gets more filled up, we'll waste more and more. Whereas if we were doing a uniform search pattern, I'd have to go through the math to see whether it's most efficient to do one where you deliberately leave holes the first time, or the first time you overlap to ensure you cover space. But if you do it one of these ways, you can control to make sure that you don't waste space, at least at first. Actually, just thinking this through, another way might be to set up a hexagonal pattern which will cover space with the smallest amount of wasted space, but we aren't actually searching each of these points. I'm just leaving up the pattern. And then when we actually go to search, we skip so that we don't overlap at first. So yeah, so maybe we would do the first row, which is set up so that there are no overlap in the circles side by side, and then skip the second row because that would have a bit of overlap with the first, and then do the third, and then imagine this is the end of it. We don't have the rest of the screen. Then if we still don't find it, we go back to do the second, which is a bit less efficient. We are covering overlaps, but at this point we have to cover the remaining region. So my gut tells me that this is at least the most efficient of the searching strategies I've covered here. Now, there might be a better way than this, but I suspect in whatever way you do it, it's going to be a planned search where the first pass is set up to have 0 overlaps, and you only start doing searches that have some overlap regions after you've completed the first pass. And random is not going to accomplish that. That being said, there might be other reasons going on that the Nomai have decided to do a random search, even though it's not likely to be as efficient. Okay, so that's enough of that. Let me get back to the game. Okay, so let's see if we put this thing into a different slot. Do we get something else? Ooh, yep, gotta catch you again. There we go. Do we get anything to read this? There we go. This took a moment. Okay. 3 lines. So, begin launch log. Orbital probe cannon. Launch request received. Probe launch successful. Okay. Probe tracking module is receiving data from probe. Warning. Orbital probe cannon structure compromised during launch. Damage to multiple modules detected. Yeah, that's probably because they put in too much power. Okay. And the final one. Four lines now. Orbital probe cannon damage report. Severe structural stress detected. Assessing damage to modules. Control module intact, no structural damage. Launch module, viewport window fractured, module exposed to vacuum of space. And probe tracking module missing. Ooh, so the probe tracking module is completely gone. So, well, let's see, can we get it? Yeah, let's head back and just have a look. So we'll probably won't find anything since it says it's missing, but let's just see what it looks like. Maybe we'll have an idea of where it went missing to. So okay, which one is this? Probe tracking module, that's the one. So yep, that looks missing to me. So, I'm just going to peek my head out here and see, now where could it have gone? So it's missing, maybe it's still relatively intact, and if we could find it, we could go into it, and well, it's the probe tracking module, so maybe we could track the probe, but, oh, look here, so this direction off from it goes to the planet. So if it got knocked off, you think maybe it fell to the planet? Ooh. Yeah, speaking of which, I don't really want to do that myself right now. Okay, so let's... Yeah, I think we've looked at all there is here. So let's head back to the ship and down to the planet. Oh, I guess each of these little orbs kind of acts as an airlock. Yeah, so behind it, it locked up while it opened the way forward. So yeah, this is an airlock. That's a cool design. Okay, let's restock, refuel. And, oh, let's check the ship's log while we're here. Okay. Oh, yep, it's added notes from last time as well. Yeah, let's read through that all to catch up. Okay. So, Gabbro's island. Gabbro's landing on a hammock. Gabbro found the Nomai statue on another island. The statue's eyes started glowing, and Gabbro saw their memories flash before their eyes. Gabbro remembers dying. They saw their memories flash before their eyes, just like the time with the statue. Gabbro and I seem to be the only ones aware that we're in a time loop. One of the islands on Giant's Deep has a Nomai statue on the beach, just like the one Gabbro brought back to Timber Hearth. Statue Island, as Gabbro calls it, is the one with two islands connected by a natural rock arch. Okay, so that'd probably be interesting to look at. Oh, and Gabbro also told us about the ocean death. He said there's a strong current beneath the surface of the ocean that prevents anything from sinking below it. Okay, it's still a big question mark. So yeah, we'll need to figure that out. Okay, orbital probe cannon. The broken remains of a Nomai space station in orbit around Giant's Deep. There are 3 access ways branching off from the central hub area. The orbital probe cannon was created to find the precise location of the eye of the universe. The Nomai pushed the orbital probe cannon above its maximum power setting to create the greatest chance of finding the eye of the universe. Okay, control module. The control module recently received a request from the Ash Twin project to launch the probe. The cannon was aligned with a randomly selected probe trajectory. The probe was successfully launched, but the cannon's structural integrity was compromised in the process. Damage is detected in multiple modules. So, which is this? It's a bit tiny. Okay, launch module, looks like. One of the orbital probe cannon's 3 modules. The launch module looks heavily damaged. There's a huge breach in the glass viewport. The launch module's viewport window is fractured, exposing it to the vacuum of space. Oh, maybe we can get in from outside. Maybe there's still a question mark, so there's more to find there. So let's see if we can get into it from outside. And the probe tracking module, which I'm guessing fell to the planet. Maybe we can find it there somewhere. One of the orbital probe cannon's 3 modules. The probe tracking module is receiving data from the launched probe. A Nomai computer reports the probe tracking module as missing. Okay, oh, and it also points us to the construction yard. The Nomai built the orbital probe cannon at a construction yard on Giant's Deep. Okay. Oh, yeah, and R2 does... Yeah, okay. So, let's see if we can get into the launch module from outside. Is it going to be easier with the ship or on foot? Yeah, I'm going out just in my spacesuit and jetpack. We'll have more delicate control that way. Yeah, and yeah, this looks like it. Okay. Okay, carefully. There we go. Yes, we can indeed get in from outside. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, this floor at least still works. The other doesn't. What is there around here to see? Okay, we got one of these stones. So, probe tracking module projection stone. Start off in the sand pit. Oh, and we can use this to see where the probe tracking module is. So this is... Ooh. Okay. So... Ooh, the probe tracking module also has a Nomai statue in it. And... outside there's electricity going around. Well, it looks kind of like coral, maybe? Could there be coral deep within the oceans of Giant's Deep? Okay, maybe we'll have to find more clues to figure it out. But we're looking for some place with electricity and what maybe looks like coral. And we suspect from the angle it fell to Giant's Deep, so maybe there's some place, some island or under the water in Giant's Deep that has coral. Okay. Well, we've got something of a lead on that. That's a bit more information. Let's check what writing is stored here. Mallow. Imagine, Privet, the probe tracking module will be the first to know the coordinates of the eye of the universe. You'll be the first to see them. Okay, so maybe if we get to the probe tracking module, we can get the coordinates of the eye of the universe. If it has indeed found them. It's searching randomly, so yeah, the chances might be pretty slim. Privet, I am honored and terrified. Privet, you won't ask the orbital probe cannon to use so much power that it breaks, will you? Yeah. Fret not, my nervous friend. We only need to fire the probe once, anyway. Well, once is enough. And you're firing it randomly, but once is enough. So, who minds if it compromises the orbital probe cannon's structural integrity slightly? Yeah, slightly. I would mind, Mallow. I would mind. Because we won't be capable of receiving our probe's data if the probe tracking module is destroyed. Yeah, good point. Good point. Okay. Alright. So, anything else of interest in here? Alright, looking around, oops, pardon me. Don't see anything else. There seems to only be the one, tablet. So, let's hop out the window here. And see if we can get back to our ship, which I believe... Oh, is it? Oh, maybe we came the other way. We really should start recording the parking numbers for where we parked our ship. Or they should start putting up numbers so we can record them. Or apparently people these days just take a photo of them, which is, you know, probably the best way to record it. Ooh, sun's nice and toasty red now. Okay. Check the computer, see what it's added. So, nice thing about the computer like this is it allows you to feel a sense of progression, even though all you're getting is more information. When you have it definitely recorded here and saved between loops, it helps you feel like you're making progress, even though physically everything is reset each loop. Okay, so the launch module is badly damaged, but its projection pool is still intact. Okay, so that's called a projection pool. A no-mind named Mallow argued that it wouldn't matter if the cannon's structural integrity was compromised, since they only needed to fire the probe once. A no-mind named Privet countered that they wouldn't be capable of receiving the probe's data if the probe tracking module was destroyed. Yeah. So those are the important notes. Okay, so reading up on the probe tracking module, let's see, it's receiving data from the launch probe. Any Nomai aboard the probe tracking module would be the first to see the coordinates of the eye of the universe. It's reported as missing. Okay, I saw the probe tracking module through a Nomai projection pool. It looks like the module is underwater. I can see a purple electricity outside the viewport. Okay, so it's underwater with purple electricity, which means, yeah, probably somewhere beneath the ocean of Giant's Deep. Okay, now we've used up a fair bit of time on this loop, so let's just, out of curiosity, let's go beneath the ocean on Giant's Deep, see what we see. Ooh, now that's a big water spout. Okay, well, let's go underwater. Ooh, okay, so looking down, yeah, we can see the purple electricity there. So I guess that's like the core area of Giant's Deep. And can we get there? Yeah, Gabbro said there was a current, and even though we're pushing forward, we seem to be getting stuck. So, yeah, the current is preventing us from getting there. And there are also those red things. Are those like jellyfish or something? You know, that kind of reminds me of when I saw on one of the islands. Let's see if we can find that island again. Have another look. I just saw an island going off into the air there. And, oh, also looking at these tornadoes. Yeah, the one in front of us is the one disobedient one. Everyone else is rotating, say, clockwise if you look down. But this one right here is rotating counterclockwise. Naughty, naughty. Okay. Let's see, which island is that? That's Gabbro's hangout? I don't see Gabbro. There, yeah, I think this is where Gabbro's hanging out. Okay. So, where's that one we saw well, a couple loops ago? Yeah, so over here, yeah, there's like a big crystal. Maybe if I go underwater, I can find some entry point for this island. Oh, there's the current again. And these plants, are those like from Dark Bramble? That like a Dark Bramble seed game here too? Anywhere in over here. Yeah. I'm not sure what, if anything, we can do with this island. Didn't see really any like access point, like a cave down here. Maybe if we go a bit deeper and look in there. No, we're getting caught up in the current again. Okay, and around here, nothing. Huh, the island itself seems kind of translucent. That's interesting. And yeah, there's a tunnel we go through there. We came out the other side, and screw it, I'm parking right here. Okay, take a photo. Click. There we go. And ooh. Yeah, not the best parking job in the world, but it'll do. Okay, my knees are gonna complain tomorrow. Well, actually, there is no tomorrow. Oh, yeah, goes there. So, signals. Go. No, that's not it. Scout launcher. Okay, so you might have noticed by now that music picks up a bit before the sun explodes. So that tells us we're kind of running low on time. So let's see if we can rush and figure out what exactly is going on this island, if anything. So, okay. So those red things are the ones going in and out of the core. And yeah, I'm not sure we can get inside anywhere. And over here, more ghost matter. Ooh, no. Can't get by. Oh. Yep, got too close. Well, the sun was about to explode anyway. Yeah, so I'm not sure what, if anything, we can do there. Well, let's look for other clues and go back there later. Okay. So, with the couple aborted loops and time spent paused, I think the boat reaches the end of this episode. So I hope you all enjoyed following along. Still more to see on Giant's Deep. How about next time when we come back, we'll look up that there's a construction yard there and a place with a Nomai statue, which Gabbro called Statue Island. So a couple more things to look into there, but we'll do that all next time. All right, and let's roast a marshmallow here, by which I mean set a marshmallow on fire. And, okay, it melts away. And I will see you all again. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and click the bell to be sure you get notifications of new uploads. See you again soon.